Well, topping the 10, a recipe for danger. Wind gusts and a simple spark lead to several different firefights. From St. Paul to Sibley County, fast-moving flames sent people racing for safety. We have live team coverage in a minute, but first, the storms we've been watching arrived around 8 o'clock tonight. With fire watches out for tomorrow as well, the hope is that the rain will provide some relief. Meteorologist Laura Betker has been watching the system all night long. She joins us now with a look at our current conditions. Hi, Laura.
Hi, Randy. Nothing severe at the moment. We did have one severe thunderstorm for LeSueur, Scott, and Sibley County earlier that brought some hail and a whole lot of lightning. Right now, that line is pushing through the South Metro down into the Albert Lee area. We'll soon be into Eau Claire and Rochester as it continues to move through. Heavy rainfall with precipitation rates up to about an inch an hour with the heavier pockets as they do move through. The good news is they're moving quickly, so we aren't looking at a whole lot of prolonged heavy rain, but it will continue here as it just slowly pushes east through the rest of the night. Here's the last 15 minutes worth of lightning strikes. Plenty of them, and with dry conditions, those are still a concern even with the rain because everything is so dry here in this early portion of spring. So the lightning will continue also as the storms move east. Here's our storm tracker. It'll be moving into Pine Island, Rochester, Menominee, eventually Eau Claire, down into Austin, Minnesota here over the next couple of hours. By the time we get to midnight, most of this should be done, and we will continue to see that move out by tomorrow morning. Some sunshine to look forward to. We'll talk about that. Easter weekend, recap the day a bit coming up, Randy.
All right. Thank you, Laura. We're watching a developing story coming into the KARE 11 newsroom. Within the past hour, the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office says they recovered a body from the Mississippi River near the 10th Avenue Bridge. Investigators have not identified the person, but this is the same area where video showed Jennifer Hoole going into the river. The 22-year-old University of Minnesota student went missing early last Friday morning. Back to our top story now, the weather from wildfires to house fires. First responders were kept pretty busy today. In Otsego, fast-moving flames gutted several homes in one neighborhood. In Buffalo, a grass fire put homeowners on notice. In St. Paul, a family of 10 is now homeless. And smoke from a Sibley County wildfire was so intense it showed up on our radar. Our live team coverage starts in Buffalo. Jay Olstead talked with firefighters and residents who watched as the flames charred through hundreds of acres of farmland.
Yeah, Randy, it's been quite the day for firefighters here in Buffalo and the surrounding areas as they battled these grass fires. The flames came so close to some homes that even neighbors helped out with the fight.
It's a shame to see it.
Just as the rolling hills in Maple Lake Township were about to turn green, this land got doused with darkness.
So all this burnt, you know, with the wind just pushed it right across here.
I live on a lake that's 300 and this is at least twice as big as that.
It was late this afternoon when crews from Maple Lake and other departments battled a fast-moving grass fire near 50th and Clementa, a blaze fueled by strong winds that officials believe ate up at least 400 to 600 acres.
Pretty quick. Quick enough that we couldn't get in front of it.
They saved everybody's house. Nobody lost anything.
Several homes were threatened, including Bill Ebnat's.
And about 6 inches or so from the LP tank.
The fire line, inches from one of his propane tanks.
And that's 500 gallons. It's about 75% full. That would have been one big explosion.
Just hot spots now, it looks like.
And a sunset over a hillside with a much different look than when the day started.
It could have been worse than what it was.
Yeah, it certainly could, and some of those neighbors got out their garden hoses to help douse the flames, help out the firefighters. We still don't know what caused this fire, but we do know that no structures were damaged and no injuries to report. Randy?
All right, thank you, Jay. In St. Paul, the Red Cross is helping a family of 10 after a fire engulfed their home in mere minutes. It sparked when a down power line ignited dried ground, spread to the building, and then jumped to a second home. Jana Shortle is live to show us the destruction that's left behind. Jana?
Randy, certainly some scary moments here just off in the Rice neighborhood in St. Paul, as you explained this afternoon. The wind started all of that chain reaction that led to 2 homes being lost.
Even up close,
You couldn't tell if it was ending
It's been a hectic hour and a half or so here.
or beginning.
2 houses on fire, a shed, and who knows what else.
Who knows, was the feeling spreading up and down the block.
Jim is alive. I talked to Jim, the owner, just a half an hour ago.
Gordon, relieved to find his buddy wasn't inside.
He's got a brother who is dying of cancer, so he's been living up in North Branch with his sister.
House 1, officially unoccupied, but with unfinished business.
With houses this close and the wind we had, it's a bad formula to have a fire because it can spread faster than we can put resources on it.
Even 60 firefighters couldn't keep the house from engulfing her home. Tay Pepe was at home when fire evicted her and her 9 children. They ran with just the clothes on their back and began to hear the question in the crowd. Now what? Because even when the flames go out, when the fires end, the beginning starts for those up close. And that family is being assisted by the Red Cross tonight with shelter, with food, and with clothing. As you can see, the first home where this started behind me, absolutely nothing is left of it, just charred remains. That second house is the one that caught fire second. That was severely damaged. Don't know yet if that is a total loss, but firefighters here, like I said, 60 strong fighting this afternoon, concerned because all these houses are close together that it could keep spreading because it hit that shed just a few blocks behind it. So they did a good job of getting it contained. Also, should note, no firefighters were hurt battling these blazes as well. Randy?
All right, thank you, Jana. Take a look at these pictures from Otsego, where 3 homes were gutted by fire today. They were part of a new development. The fire was first spotted by a boy getting off the school bus today. One of the homes on fire was the same one he and his mother were supposed to move into in just 2 weeks. KARE 11 photojournalist Chad Nelson has their story of loss.
I saw the flames coming up. Within 20 minutes, the entire thing was engulfed.
I saw smoke and I just saw like houses in orangeness.
It's very windy. Wind is oxygen's recipe in fire. So.
I want to put a ton of water in this basement.
Once he saw the flames, he hopped on his bike and came up here and called me right away and said, "Mom, our house is on fire."
I came up here and I parked it over there. And I came up running and watched the house burn down. That was your house?
Was.
Yeah, it was. Let me down May 29th.
We were here meeting for our new house and to get our closing date, and we left to go home to get ready to celebrate when my son called me from the school bus screaming that our new house was on fire. So we're really looking forward to this. Had a closing date of May 29th as of a couple hours ago, and now who knows when.
We're going to have you hit the house and protect us directly.
Sad, you know. Obviously brand new homes, it's always sad, but it's just heartbreaking. You know, here they got a couple dogs in there too.
My heart breaks for what would have been our neighbors in a few months, and we're just devastated.
Well, north of the metro, a Sauk Rapids couple says they smelled gas and then smoke before they saw flames quickly consuming their home this afternoon. These pictures from the St. Cloud Times show the extensive damage done to the home on Orchard Drive. Firefighters say they were met with heavy smoke and flames driven by those winds. Dark smoke was seen more than a mile away as firefighters sprayed down neighboring homes in a wooded area to keep the fire from spreading. The cause of that fire is still under investigation. Drivers also had to deal with fire dangers today. In Burnsville, this fire charred land right next to 35W and Highway 13. Crews quickly extinguished another fire at 494 and East Bush Lake Road. A fire along Highway 36 also caused traffic delays. And in Sibley County, firefighters had this grass fire to fight before rain helped them out tonight. Flames shot into the air and the smoke so black and so dense, our weather radar picked it up. Adrian Broaddus says that story all new at 10.
I'm Adrian Broaddus in Sibley County, where firefighters have been battling this blaze since 4:30. You see one of the deputies here monitoring traffic.
The orange glow captured the town's attention, but Dana Limke was here for something else.
Yeah, my husband's on the department.
Sheriff's deputies say grass in the swamp burned, making it tough for firefighters to fight.
And I hope they get it taken care of really soon. It's been going for a while, since about 3 o'clock.
This all happened 1 mile west of Green Isle, but other fire departments were here too.
Waconia Fire, Belle Plaine, Norwood, Glencoe, You know, just everybody out here in Arlington, they're doing a great job.
The fire burned nearly 5 hours, and some people prayed for the rain. 3 minutes after the rain started falling, the fire was out.
I'm thanking God for everything, you know, the rain and people being able to go home now.
And tonight, those firefighters are at home with their families. Everyone here thankful no one was hurt. In Sibley County, I'm Adrienne Broaddus, KARE 11 News.
Well, the weather should settle down in a couple of hours. And for the latest look at the radar and the current weather alerts, be sure to visit KARE11.com. And we'll, of course, have continuing coverage tomorrow morning on Sunrise. In other news, tonight marks the 2-week anniversary of Barway Collins' disappearance. Tomorrow, loved ones will focus a new search for the 10-year-old at the North Mississippi River Park in Minneapolis. The Crystal Boy went missing outside of his apartment complex after a school bus dropped him off. Barway's father, Pierre, has been named a suspect in the case, but he has not been arrested and maintains he is innocent. New tonight, Governor Mark Dayton says he's considering a ban on state-funded travel to Indiana. The potential boycott comes after Indiana passed a religious freedom law that some fear would allow businesses to discriminate against same-sex couples. In an interview with the Star Tribune today, Governor Dayton said, quote, "I abhor the action taken by the governor of Indiana and legislature of Indiana." He went on to say, "We are considering now what we can legally do and properly do without overreaching and setting up a situation where we are telling state employees that they can't go to Indiana." The governor says he will likely make a decision in the next 48 hours, and he isn't the only one making that call. On Friday, the Minneapolis City Council will vote whether to prohibit using city funds for official business in Indiana. The growing public outcry comes as Indiana's leaders scramble to modify their new Religious Freedom Act before the NCAA basketball tournament arrives there this weekend. Well, new at 10, safety concerns over the Highway 100 project in St. Louis Park. In a letter to MnDOT, St. Louis Park City Manager Thomas Harmoning laid out several concerns. He says community members are worried about excess traffic with the closure of the Minnetonka Boulevard Bridge. In the letter, he cites long delays, a blocked fire station, traffic backed up onto Highway 7, and traffic increases near a heavily used regional trail. In his letter, Harmoning is asking for temporary traffic signals at 2 key locations, Highway 7 at Wooddale Avenue and at the Lake Street, Dakota Avenue, Wooddale Avenue intersection. Well, still ahead at 10, raises coming for 90,000 fast food workers across America. And in tonight's Take Care of Your Money, the new on-demand service that will make your household shopping even easier. Plus, Mother Nature's power caught on camera with ice on the move at Lake Minnetonka. Earlier this month, it was reported the typical American household will save $750 this year from lower gas prices. Now it looks like most people are pocketing the savings. Typically, when gas prices fall, Americans spend more, but according to economists, consumer spending has been flat. They argue many people may be using the savings to pay off debt. Cheaper oil prices are affecting the job market as well. Nearly 100,000 people in the oil industry have lost their jobs in the last 4 months. The biggest cuts coming in oil-producing states like North Dakota, Texas, Oklahoma, and Louisiana. McDonald's employees are getting a pay raise starting in July. Wages will be $1 more than the local minimum wage. Employees will also get paid time off. But there's a catch. The changes are for workers at company-owned locations only. McDonald's say they don't control pay or hiring practices at franchised locations. The changes come as the fast food giant faces protests over labor practices. Amazon is trying to make online shopping even more convenient. It's created what's called Amazon Dash, a device that links to the Amazon app and connects to your Wi-Fi network. Dash allows you to reorder a product associated with the button, like toilet paper, coffee, laundry detergent. Once you press the button, it sends a message to your Amazon account and orders you a new stock of whatever you're looking for. Well, want to sell your home? It seems that now is the time to do it. As one Twin Cities realtor told us today, home buyers are going nuts. Tyler and Jesse Moberg just sold their Eden Prairie home before it even went on the market. This after it sat on the market through the fall. Now they're trying to find a new home, and they're finding there's a lot of competition out there.
We're trying to find a house and have made 4 offers over asking price of 4 different homes and haven't got any of them.
So there's huge demand right now for buying a house.
Hard to be a buyer right now.
Good to be a seller.
Realtors we talked to call the spring housing market a whiplash effect, where hesitant buyers in the fall are now springing into action. All right, let's get an update on the weather now as that system has kind of rolled through. Yeah, it's been a crazy day across the board with all of the fires that were happening out there. Fortunate that nobody was hurt, but the rain helped, it sounds like, out west.
The rain did help a little bit. We are going to have that fire danger again tomorrow, but it won't be as warm. Here's what our highs were today. 80s spread across the metro and to the south also. 82 degrees was the record high previously on this day, set all the way back in 1882, so more than 133-year record broken today with a high of 84 degrees and a huge gradient in temperatures across the state. 40s up along the North Shore with winds off a chilly Lake Superior. Now it will be another warm day tomorrow, but not quite as warm. Average highs for this time of year are near 50. We're going to see the 60s tomorrow, more seasonable weather than by the end of the week. So all in all, as we look through the rest of the night here, we still will have some storms rumbling through southeastern Minnesota, but things are quieting down here in the backyard, and that's for certain. Now, in addition to the storms and the heat, there were the winds. Here's some of the peak wind gusts today. 54 miles per hour in Redwood Falls, Crystal 51, officially at MSP, 44 miles per hour. Really, that 40 to 50 mile per hour range was very common across most of the southern half of the state today. And right now, we're looking at not a whole lot of wind gusts going on. Still just ahead of that storm system down in southeastern Minnesota. And you see a few wind gusts into northwestern Minnesota, but out of the opposite direction. This is what will be moving in tomorrow. It will be another breezy day. And again, as I mentioned, we will have that fire danger. We'll talk about that in a bit coming up. 62 degrees right now, still some light showers across the area. Right now it's dry in the backyard, as is most of the west and north metro, but still dealing, of course, in the south and east. We do have some storm reports that were coming in throughout the day. A couple of them hail in Stearns County, Kimball, half-inch hail, and up to 0.8 inch, about 3/4 inch hail in Rush City and Chisago County, as that same line did move through. And a wind report coming in from Arlington in Sibley County, where an 8 to 12 inch diameter tree was toppled down around 7:30 this evening. Here's what it looks like right now. Goodhue County is seeing some of the heaviest rain at this time. Rainfall rates at 1/2 to 1 inch of rain per hour. And again, these are all moving east at about 40 to 50 miles per hour, depending on the cell. They really are fairly quick moving, so not a whole lot of rain ends up on the ground. Anywhere from about 1/4 to 1/2 an inch is what we've been seeing for those storm totals. So those will continue to move off to the east as we head through the night tonight, and really by midnight we're starting to see a very quiet metro. 4 a.m. still just a few showers hanging on into southeastern Minnesota, but by tomorrow morning things are quite nice, back to sunny skies, a little breezy, yes, but not as windy as today. Still, things are very dry, so we have fire danger that will continue tomorrow. Fire weather warning in western Minnesota, fire weather watch for the metro and all of eastern Minnesota. It stays quiet then for the next several days. Saturday, Sunday for Easter weekend, some decent conditions to spend outdoors. And then as we head back from spring break for many, rain returns to the forecast on Monday and Tuesday, but no more 80s on there, Randy.
That's okay, though. As long as it stays cool and calm, we'll be okay.
It does quiet down nicely.
All right. Thanks, Laura. Well, the high winds were so powerful today it sent broken ice from Lake Minnetonka onto the north shore of Crystal Bay. Another KARE 11 viewer sent us footage of the whitecaps on the open water as a windsurfer took advantage of the conditions. Ice, by the way, still covers about 80% of the lake. Coming up, the Wolves get a great game from Andrew Wiggins, but it's not enough to counter the Raptors, and the Vikings continue to build their roster through free agency. Dave has the details next.
KARE 11 Sports from the Mayo Clinic Sports Medicine Sports Desk.
Another great game for Andrew Wiggins, wasted as the Timberwolves have a rough one tonight with Toronto, a game in which they trailed by more than 30 at one time in the second half. Timberwolves hosting those Raptors. Andrew Wiggins early on, nice dunk, gives them a lead in the first quarter. Wiggins had 25 points tonight, but it gets a little ugly after that in the second to Anthony Bennett on the give and go. Now they're down 50-36 in the third. DeMar DeRozan was just awesome tonight off the knockdown, the jump shot off the screen. Raptors rout the Timberwolves 113-99. The NFL, you can never really have too.
We'll never forget it. As we grow and get better as a team, we'll never forget this year. It'll be motivation for us. To try and basically like revenge. Just try and kill the teams that beat us this year.
In the NFL, you can never really have too many quarterbacks, and no one knows that better than the Vikings, who were forced to play third-stringer Christian Ponder last season. Today they signed a fourth QB, Mike Kafka, who spent the last year with the Buccaneers but hasn't thrown a pass in the NFL in 3 years. Kafka did see significant time with the Eagles in 2011. Also, free agent defensive end Caesar Rayford announced on his Facebook page today that he will be joining the Purple. If Burnsville senior Ashley Vanderwoude has anything to prove this year, it's that badminton doesn't get the love it deserves. She came up close to a state title last year, but believes this year can be different. Here's KARE 11's Dylan Wallenhouse.
Without a bird in your hand,
10-4.
Don't tell these girls that badminton is for the birds.
When people are like, badminton's not a real sport, I'm like, okay, come play me then.
It's an uphill battle playing the game in the suburbs, says Burnsville head coach Jeff Limke.
If you go to like Johnson High School, that's their #2 participation sport. I mean, their numbers are incredible.
It's the traditional sports, soccer, football, basketball, that draw better numbers outside the inner city, and even more uncommon here.
And it's rare that you get someone who comes in and says, okay, I'm going to be really good at this, I'm going to work at it.
And really good is what senior Ashley Vanderwoude is trying to be.
It's not your backyard badminton. Like, this is a different playing field than what you think.
Recently named the top female athlete at Burnsville High School, winning the Athena Award, Vanderwoude also plays volleyball in the fall and is gunning for a state championship this year in badminton.
A lot of what it comes down to is honestly like your endurance, because like even like your skills, like they all go down once you're like getting out of breath.
Vanderwoude placed 5th last year at state, and with most of the finishers above her graduated, her coach.
She's got a legitimate chance.
And Ashley,
hoping for first this year,
look towards a title in a sport where the birdie is always in play.
Nice job.
In Burnsville tonight, Dylan Wallenhouse, KARE 11 Sports.
And that will do it for sports. KARE 11 News continues after this. Well, it certainly was a wild day, wild night for weather, but it's going to settle down a little bit right now.
It is. Those storms they're still in the southeast right now, moving out of Goodhue County and over into portions of Wisconsin. Eau Claire looking to be right next in line for that, as is Rochester. But as we head past midnight, all this does start to fizzle out, and it'll all be gone by tomorrow, leaving us with a whole lot of sunshine. Overall, mostly sunny to partly cloudy tomorrow, and 62, really a nice day, but breezy yet again, and it does stay quiet here through Easter weekend until next Monday. So a good stretch of days here for us to calm down again.
Looks like the rain will hold off too until after Easter, which is good.
It does look.
Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Sunrise at 6. We'll see you tomorrow.